That's it. Stop fighting. See, this was production values, ladies and gentlemen. The turbulence in the music was the representation of the violence and the turbulence and the venom and the hate that always took place among all the different denominations all over the world. Why? Why did that happen? Mister. So I'll ask you a better question. Why is it that white Protestant American Gentiles are the only happy people in America? Did you ever notice that? They don't know where they are. They don't know where they're going. They're always comfortable. They don't have a deal pending, a deal missing, nothing about it. But every Jew is walking around like this. Every Jew is walking. I got to become a partner in something. I don't know what. Why does every Jew have to become a partner? Because of persecution. Because Jews could never get a job in this country. So they always had to become businessmen to overcome the system. That's why to this day, every Jew is a businessman. Every Jew is. Even if he has no business, it doesn't disturb him. Every Jew has a deal pending or a deal missing. Every Jew. And they're all walking around like this. If he can't make a living, it's somebody's fault. They don't know whose, but it's somebody else's fault. It's never his fault. It's always those son of a bitches, those son of a... Those bastards, they talked me out of it. You know what kind of money I would be worth today if that... Every Jew knows a building he could have bought 20 years ago for $9. You know what that building is worth today? 147 million. They talked me out of it, those son of a bitches. They talked. You tell them, why don't you buy something now? No, now it's too late. Now, this is not true among Gentiles. Gentiles were never raised to think that they have to overcome a system. That's why if they work with their hands, they're proud and they're happy because it's a job. A Jew never works with his hands because you can't overcome discrimination by working with your hands. They were always told your mind should move, not your hands. Your mind should work, not your hand. That's why to this day, if a Jew has to move something, he's embarrassed by it. He's embarrassed. He looks for a Gentile. Mister, could you take this over? You never see a Jew working with his hands. Look at the top of any building. It's only Gentiles. The tops of buildings, every construction site is a haven for Gentiles. They love it on top of a building with the hats and the goggles, the schmatters, the tchotchke. To them it's a bar mitzvah, me klap me. Ever see a Jew on top of a building? Jew is always on the floor. That's not a bad job. Take a look. Now this is an outgrowth. It's an outgrowth of the fact that Jews can never get a job in most of the major corporations of this country. And it's self-serving to say only Jews. It's true about Catholics. Blacks certainly could never get a job in the major corporations of this country until 30, 40, 50 years ago. Why do you think to this day, if a Jew works in a major corporation, he can't wait to get out of there? Either that or become a partner. But a Gentile, he belongs there. He knows that's his home, so he's waiting for a $6 raise, 12, 37, 49. After 9 years, he's waiting to see if he can get a key to the toilet, if he gets a key. His happiest day, I got a key, I'm going to the toilet. A Jew is waiting for the key to the vault, he's waiting for a key to the vault. Because a Gentile always knew that it's within the structure of the major corporation that he's going to get ahead. So he worships that structure. That's why the boss to him is a genius. Because he depends on that boss to get ahead for the rest of his life. That's why when he talks about his boss, he's talking about a God. That's the boss. That's Mr. G, Mr. Q, Mr. C, oh, Mr. G. He thinks he's a genius. You ever hear a Jew talking about his boss? The man is a schmuck. Says if not for me, he would be starving to death. I do all the work. This schmuck gets the credit. He don't know what's going on here. Real putz, putz. It's interesting that Jewish kids are the only kids who went to college 100 years ago. Do you know that? Because every Jewish mother wanted her child to become a doctor. That was it. To this day, the greatest pride in every Jewish home is to have a son a doctor. Unless he's a little retarded, a lawyer. If his mind don't work at all, an accountant. But they would prefer him to be a doctor. You see, in a Gentile family, they're happy if their son drives a truck. They'll take you out to the highway. Wait, my son's truck is coming. You ever see what happens if a Jew has a son that drives a truck? He's so embarrassed he's hiding in Philadelphia. If you know any Jew whose son drives a truck, try this. Say to him, does your son drive a truck? He'll say drives. I wouldn't say he drives. He sits in a truck, he don't drive it. How would it look? A truck is moving, there's nobody there, somebody has to be there. So in case it goes out of control, he controls it. He's not driving, he's controlling, that's it. He's a controller in the trucking business. All this is a historical fact. A Jew's whole life is absolutely different than a Gentile's. It's fascinating to notice that a Jew can't even fix a car. Did you ever notice that? He cannot fix anything. A Gentile car breaks down in 2 seconds. They're under the car, on top of the car. They clap, they hack, it becomes an airplane. There he goes. A Jewish car breaks down, you always hear the same thing. It stopped. And the wife always says, it's your fault. And he says, I know what it is, it's in the hood. Where's the hood? I don't remember there was a... Takes a Jew 3 hours to open the hood, then he looks under the hood. Hey, is it busy here? Then he makes a move and she hollers, watch out, you'll hike yourself. I'm not making it up. Go into any Gentile home. Any Gentile home is a workshop. Why is that? The whole house is a workshop. Every place you go in a Gentile home, they klop, they hack, they take you right to the basement and they klop and they hack and they're fixing and banging and clanging. A Jewish house is a museum. The whole house is a museum. The Gentiles are clapping and the Jews are clapping. Every Gentile, as soon as you say hello, he's fixing and building. The whole house was rebuilt and refixed. The toilet was once a chair. The living room was once a ping-pong table. The bedroom was once a kitchen. This was something else. The furnace was once a toilet. This was something. The whole lobby was in the lobby. This was something else. The wall was in the... This was in Pittsburgh. Everything was someplace else. Go into a Jewish house. Nothing was ever fixed. Everything was imported, exported. In a Jewish house, everything is coming and going. It's a whole shipping department, the whole house. No matter what you see, this is nothing. Wait till you see what I'm getting. You think this is something? Wait till you see what's coming. No matter how much you're impressed, you're never impressed enough. This is nothing to compare to what I'm getting. Wait till you see. Wait till you see what's coming, what's going. You go to visit a Jew, you can't sit down. You're marching for 3 hours and he's showing you every room, every schmutter, every glisten. You're marching and walking. You ever seen, hey, I never saw it. Because a Gentile has a house to live in. A Jew has a house to show it to you. Why do you think a Gentile doesn't even care if his house flies away in a flood or a thunderstorm or hurricane? Because they know in 2 minutes they can put up another house. They put up houses in a second. Watch the 7 o'clock news. Every single day throughout the whole Midwest of this country, Gentile homes are flying around. They're flying all over the country. Homes are flying. And the same Gentiles are standing there. The same ones. What happened to your house? It left again. How do you like that? Why do you live here? Because my roots are here. Where's your roots? It went with the house. I don't know. Means nothing to them. A minute later, here's another house. Why do you think if a Jewish house gets a nick on it, 10 seconds later, there's 90 lawyers and 50 accountants? Because it's a different problem for a Jew. Do you understand this, mister? See, it's not only Jews. It sounds like I'm singling Jews out. All minorities are struggling for identity. What do you think psychologists mean when they talk about the identity crisis in this country? Anybody? It's the thing that all minorities suffer from. They always feel left out. They always feel alienated because they are. They're always struggling by proving to you how much money they got. So they have things to show you to give them an identity. Why do you think a Jew buys a boat? Does a Jew like a boat? There's no bigger schmuck on the side than a Jew with a boat. I know 5,000 Jews with boats. I've never seen one Jewish boat move yet. Because a Jew hates a boat. He buys the boat to show it to you. That's my boat. You saw it? Good. Let's get the hell out of here. I know a Gentile sells boats to Jews without motors. They don't even know it's missing. You start a motor, 12 Jews will go, "Ayya." They hate a boat. Why do you think it is? If a Gentile has a boat, he's on excursions all over the world. All over the world, you can't even find him. But every Jew only knows one thing. I sleep 6, I sleep 9. I sleep 12, I sleep 38, I sleep. To a Gentile, it's an excursion. To a Jew, it's a dormitory because he has no use for that boat, but he has to buy it to show it to you. That's the struggle of all minorities. Why do you think it is that Gentiles don't care what they look like and Jews are such great dressers? You ever notice that Gentiles have no idea what they look like and they don't care? Pick out any Gentile in 2 minutes because their clothes never match. It never matches. It never matches. A Jew dresses up even to take out the garbage. Italians are also great dressers. The best dressers are the blacks because they got the same thing we got. But they got it in chartreuse and pink. And they got no closets. They wear everything at once. 7 shirts, 9 jackets. Why do you think when you go to a Gentile convention, you can always tell a Gentile convention because their clothes are out of style? I'm a favorite at Gentile conventions. I don't know if you heard about it. Gentiles love me because they don't know that I'm Jewish. They have no idea. You ever go to a Gentile convention? You ever notice that they look like Tzahagat? The only thing that's in place is the signs. I'm Clyde, I'm Klum. I'm McGillicuddy, I'm Bakak. I'm Bakoko, Bakak. Jews don't have signs. Jews don't have signs. We got diamonds. Hello, I'm Ivy. And there's always a yenta standing next to him. You think that's a diamond? Look what I got here. I got here. Give me 2 Jews, you're blind for a year and a half. Are you a Jewish man? I can tell you're Jewish because he's afraid to laugh. Jewish men are afraid to laugh. They have to get their opinion of their wife first. The Gentile thinks you're funny. He laughs. The Jew looks at his wife. He's funny. He's funny. He's not. He's not. I thought he was. He's not. That's up to you. Because every Jewish husband is always in trouble. He knows he owes her money. He can't remember why. Every Jewish husband is in debt to a yenta without a job. She never had a job and he owes her money. Every time she sees him, "You owe me for this." I forgot this. How do you owe a person money who's living in your house for nothing? Nobody accepts that idea except the Jew. He's the only one who accepts it. What is the guilt of the Jew that assumes that she has the right to persecute him while she's living in your house for nothing? Why is it that the Jewish man is respected every place he goes? Every place he goes, he's a partner in every business, and all day long everybody is saying to him, "Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir." As soon as he opens the door to his own house, "You schmuck!" And he goes, and 10 seconds later, he becomes a garbage collector. Here's the garbage, and the schmuck is slipping garbage in garbage. She hasn't cooked a meal in 9 years. Where does this garbage come from? She collects garbage from all over the world for this schmuck to take it out. Now, if an Italian has garbage, I can understand it because an Italian woman is always in the kitchen. The whole women's lib movement never affected the relationship between an Italian husband and wife. Every Italian woman is still in the kitchen. Go into any Italian home, I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Sauces are flying, sauces. Sauces. She never leaves the sauce in case he comes home. "I got the sauce." The truth is that she's literally afraid to leave the kitchen. She's afraid. Jewish wives are just the opposite. They can't find the kitchen. They're building special homes now for Jewish wives. No kitchens. They see a kitchen, they get a heart attack. What about this? Before they make one meal, they make 12 deals. If I cook today, I don't cook tomorrow. If I cook tomorrow, I'm off Thursday. Friday, I'm in a Chinese restaurant. Every Jew that gets married knows he's going to spend the rest of his life going from one Chinese restaurant. They make a deal with a Chinaman before the wedding that this will be it. That's why I hate Chinamen, those son of a bitches. I hate them for another reason. Do you notice that they never eat in a Jewish restaurant? For 5,000 years, every Jew is eating in a Chinese restaurant. You ever see one Chinaman in a Jewish restaurant? I never saw a Chinaman that said to me, I'm looking for a piece of gefilte fish. I don't mean to pick on Jewish wives either. There's a lot of wonderful Jewish wives. God bless them. I blame the Jewish husbands because every Jewish husband is basically a schmuck. Because he believes everything she tells him. And she knows how to work him like a real putz. She spends her whole life telling him everything she wants is not for her, it's for you. Everything, it's for you. I'm taking care of you. She's taking care of you. Would you look like this if somebody was taking care of you? You ever see a Jewish husband go on a vacation? This is fascinating, not to you. But it's fascinating to watch a Jewish husband go. Not one Jewish husband in the history of this country ever thought to himself of going on a vacation. It never enters his mind. One day he's sitting in his house, and this yenta looks at him. As every Jewish woman says the same thing. I don't like the way you look. Look what you look like. I can't look at you. They always tell you the same thing. I don't need the vacation. It's for you. Look what you look like. I can't look at you. You need a vacation. Oh, you're going good. Thank God. And then she goes, and she forgets he's even going with her. As soon as the vacation starts, she forgets all about him completely. It's interesting, if you watch an Italian woman go on a vacation, the whole vacation could be, for a year and a half, they still take one schmatte under their arm and they go. An Italian woman does, that's right, that's how she goes. You ever see how a Jewish woman goes on a vacation? The whole vacation could be for 2 days, but she starts collecting valises. From all over the world, valises and valises. He's walking around with one schmatte and she's collecting and collecting. And she's collecting valises and packing for every occasion, in case it rains, in case it doesn't rain, in case I get up early, not so early, very early, in case something gets wet, very wet, pretty wet, not so wet, in case I go to the lobby, I almost go, I forget to go, in case somebody has the same thing, close to the same thing, almost the same thing, in case, and he's walking around with one jacket. Where should I put my jacket? Don't bother me with your jacket, can't you see I'm packing, I'm packing. You ever see a Jewish couple checking into a hotel room? There could be 5,000 hangers. There's never one hanger for this schmuck with his jacket. She's hanging it. He's walking around. Where should I put my jacket? Do you understand this? Now, anybody who thinks I'm making up, obviously, is not too intelligent a person. Because it's obviously true that Gentiles don't behave this way. Italians certainly don't. And I walk into an Italian home, I could see the opposite relationship right away. You can't help noticing it as soon as you look at an Italian relationship. How the wife is always terrorized. She's always terrorized. He looks like a Nazi, and she spends her whole life, did I do something wrong, Tony? Am I allowed to be here, Tony? Whatever you say, Tony. Are we still married, Tony? Whatever you say, Tony. And in the Jewish house, it's just the opposite. She's like a Nazi, and he's in a panic. He's always in a panic. The house cost $500,000. He paid for it. She contributed nothing to this house. So who the hell is she to tell you that everybody belongs there except you? No Jewish husband could find a place in his own house. He spends his whole life walking around with a paper. Could I sit here? I can't. I won't. All right, I'll sit. I won't. A Jew is even afraid to leave the house. He's afraid. Watch an Italian leaving the house. So long, honey. You think he'll come back, Tony? You ever see a Jew leaving the house? Every Jew who leaves the house says the same thing. Listen, I'll call you as soon as I cross the street. If I sit down, I'll call you again. If I get up, I'll call. Then I'll have a plate of soup. If it's hot, I'll call. If not, I'll call. Then I'll cross the street. If the light is red, I'll call. If not, I'll call. I'll call. And no matter when he calls, he called too late. No Jew ever called on time. She only knows one thing. You couldn't call before. I know I'm telling the truth because every time I see a Gentile, he's walking. Every time I see a Jew, did you see a phone here? If anybody here thinks I'm making any of this up, you can tell who's a Jew or a Gentile without my help. And you'll know I'm telling the truth by just by the way people leave this building. Everybody who leaves this building that's a Gentile is going to say the same thing. Have a drink? How about you? Have a drink? Drink? How about you? Drink? Drink? Anybody have a drink? Who's that guy? I don't know. Give him a drink. And every Jew will be saying the same thing too. Did you eat yet? Why is it that Gentiles never finish drinking and Jews never finish eating? It's no accident that every Gentile you see is 7 feet tall, they weigh 2 pounds. Jews are all 4'9" and built like this. They never finish eating. What do you think Jews talk about for breakfast? Where to eat lunch. That's all they talk about. Lunch, where should we have dinner? Dinner, where should we have coffee? Well, we had coffee. But we didn't have cake yet. Good, we'll have a piece of... Let's go for a walk. We walked already, but we didn't have cake yet. Good. 4 o'clock in the morning, let's have sex. We had sex, but we didn't have cake yet. Good. They can't finish eating and they all say the same thing. I don't know why I gain weight. Do you notice that you never see a Jew in a bar? Did you ever notice that? You never see a Jew in a bar unless he got lost looking for a piece of cake and a couple of... But Jews are not very comfortable in a bar. That's right. Just like Gentiles are not too comfortable in restaurants. When a Gentile walks into a restaurant, he feels very uncomfortable. Hello, may I sit down? How long should I wait? A year and a half? Why not? You ever see how a Jew walks into a restaurant like a partner? Hello! Every Jew says, let me see my table. No matter which table you show him, you call this a table for a man like me? I don't sit so close to a wall, so far from a window. My wife don't like to face this way, I don't like to face that way. Why is there so many people in this section? They can be moved over here. The Gentiles ate 4 meals already. The Jews are picking furniture. Let me see. Takes them 3 hours to pick out a table, then they start a whole new fight. Why is it so drafty here? You ever see Gentiles at a restaurant? If their line doesn't move for a year and a half, they don't care. They keep standing. You don't serve a Jew for a minute. What's taking so long, son? See, Gentiles know nothing about food, so they don't make an issue out of it. They know it's not their field. They don't know nothing about it. So no matter what you serve them, it's better than nothing, they take it. You serve them carrots and peas, they eat carrots and peas. Because they know it's not their business. Every Jew is an expert. Every Jew knows food. This is his field. You show him carrots and peas. Wait a second. Why is there so many carrots compared to the peas? What happened to the longer carrots, the shorter peas? You ever seen him offer a steak? A Gentile orders a steak. Give it to me medium. Tim, that's close enough. Because he knows it's not his business. No Jew ever said plain medium when he orders a steak. A Jew says, listen, I don't like it exactly medium. I like it between rare and medium. Not exactly between, just a little closer to medium. Not much closer, just a little. That's on this side. On the other side, I'll tell you what, let me go into the kitchen. I'll show you what I'm talking. A lot of people think this reflects the fact that somehow Jews are pushy or demanding. It happens to be an out-and-out lie. Jews are not either pushy or demanding. They're trying to get their money's worth. They're paying for it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Let's be honest, the Gentile is just as particular about the things he knows about. What do you think, a Gentile just buys any gun? Guns are his field. He knows he wants a Magnum 2, Magnum 4, 37, 49. You show a gun to a Jew. Ooh, a gun, take a look. Guns are not for Jews, let's be honest about it. You ever see a Jew join a rifle association? Never, unless there's coffee and cake. Gentiles go to Europe, they come back with pictures of statues, museums. Jews come back, I ate a piece of cake in Boston. Do you know that Jews are the only people who gain weight when they go to a gym or a health club to lose weight? In a gym or a health club, you'll notice the Gentiles are busy with barbells, with dumbbells, handball, volleyball, beklapt mehak. They're all over the place. But every Jew is on a bicycle. This is not bad. Thank you. If you think I'm making any of this up, that I'm somehow generalizing, you ought to go into a Gentile coffee shop compared to a Jewish coffee shop. When I say Jews eat more than Gentiles, it's obviously true. And every coffee shop owner knows it. And it's no accident that if you go into a Gentile neighborhood and you order a piece of cake, it comes out 1/10 the size as it does in a Jewish neighborhood. Go into Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska. You ever order a piece of cake there? Order a piece of cake, it comes out like this. To Jew, it would be a cookie. You ever go into a coffee shop that's real Jewish, like at the Carnegie go into the Carnegie Delicatessen and order a piece of cake, it comes out like this. 10 times the size. Gentiles never saw cakes like that. They think it's a birthday party. But the Jew that got the cake is always mad. What happened to the portions? They used to be big portions. Is this the whole portion? He's screaming and the Gentiles are singing, happy birthday. You know what's going to happen after this show? The Gentiles are going to say he was a hit, and the Jews are going to say, too Jewish. Too Jewish. All minority people tell you about their pride in their minority identities, but subconsciously they're somehow embarrassed by their own identity. Jews are the only people who say that I'm too Jewish. Isn't that ironic? If a Gentile doesn't like me, he could live without me. But Jews constantly say, too Jewish. Every single day I meet a yente, one after the other, that comes over to me. You don't have to talk like that. Why do you talk like that? Can't you talk like me? Talk like a regular person. Now, to a Jew, nobody is too Spanish, nobody is too Italian, nobody is too French, but you're too Jewish. Why does it bother a Jew that somebody sounds Jewish? Because they somehow think that if it's Jewish, it's got no class. No class if it's Jewish. Why do you think in Miami Beach, everybody is named Goldberg or Horowitz, but every building they live in is called the condominium of de la Tre de la Mer. No Jew knows where he lives. Where do you live? I live in the Tre, I live in the Jeu. 4 o'clock in the morning, the buildings are empty because the Jews can't find their house. They're all walking around. Where? I live in the Tre, I live in the Jeu. You understand this? I say be proud of whatever you are. Not you, there should be a limit to everything. But I don't pick on people when I say this. I'm not making fun of the Gentiles when I say a Gentile doesn't become a doctor. And I'm not making fun of the Jews when I say they can't fix a car. These are cultural factors. It's a cultural factor why a Jew can't even drive a car. They can't in every Jewish car. Where are we? Do you know? What happened? They put an ocean in here? It's not natural for him to drive a car, but it's natural for the Gentiles because the Gentiles come from the rural areas of America. They're accustomed to the highways and the byways. They got maps in their heads because you could tell if a Gentile stops at a gas station, there's for instructions. No matter how complicated it is, he remembers it because he's accustomed to highways and byways. You tell him make a highway, a light way, a this way, a that way, around the corner, a bend, a turn, another bend, and a gate. You tell the same thing to a Jewish couple. Watch what happens. As soon as the guy walks away, a fight breaks out between the husband and wife. And you'll always hear the same fight. You thought I was listening? I thought you were listening. Why would I be listening? He was talking to you. Where were you when he was talking to me? He was talking to me, to who, to you. Then they start calling each other honey as they're abusing each other. Why don't you shut up, honey? You tell me to shut up, sweetheart, you son of a bitch, darling. Nobody talks to me that way, sweetheart. You low-life bastard.